Hey there viewers, and welcome back to Grumpy Monkey Garage, where today we're not going to fix any cars, we're going to talk about fixing the cars.
I can't believe diamonds so earth, and I don't wanna take you traveling the world. But I can love you, yeah, I'm gonna love you. I'll give you the whole of what I've got. The fancy finds, baby, I have not. Just gonna love you, yeah, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love you, babe. Cross my heart and hope to die.
Okay, so when we're talking about things that make a car run, or not run in the case of diagnostics, you want to remember an acronym, FACTS. The FACTS is an acronym to help you remember what you need to look for. So the F is for fuel. So involving fuel, the most common suspect if you've lost fuel is this little guy right here, the fuel pump. So when the fuel pump dies, you don't get gas out of your tank to your engine. It doesn't run without gas. Kind of straightforward. The other thing it could be is you could have a clogged fuel filter, or your fuel pump could not be receiving signal from your ECM, which I don't actually have an ECM here to show you, but I do have these two. A good way to test for it is if you take your air filter out and spray a good shot of the brake clean down the intake tubing while you're cranking the engine over. If it starts real quick and then dies off as soon as the brake clean burns up, you know that you've got a lack of fuel, but you know everything else in your engine is good. So things to check for: low fuel pressure is usually fuel filter or a fuel pump. If you have no fuel pressure at all, that's a good symptom. You need to start looking at, is my fuel pump even being told to turn on at all? So that's what you would look for in the F. Next we'll get to A. Voila, and just like that I have new toys to play with. The next acronym, of course, is the A. That stands for air. So we've got fuel, which of course we studied a minute ago, and now we're going to study air. Usually if you have a really clogged air filter, that's really going to be your only suspect when you're dealing with air, but also you could be not reporting to your PCM or ECM that you're getting air. Your mass airflow, or in this case is a MAP sensor, may not be reporting properly, so definitely check for you having any diagnostic codes as to that. That could also make a car not start. So measuring air or actual restrictions of air will also make a vehicle not start. Alright, now we're on a fun one, which is C. And the compression is what C stands for. This is usually your suspect when you've lost compression. You've either lost valves or rings or a piston. Something horrendous has happened that you've lost compression. If you don't have compression, normally you're going to end up in an engine. So compression is the one you want to hope that's not your problem. You want to hope that it's fuel, air, or we'll get to another one later that's going to be your suspect. But to test for compression, you'll put a compression tester in your spark plug well, or on diesels. I think they have adapters for injectors, but we don't work on diesels, so we wouldn't know. But this is the piston here, and it comes up and down on the cylinder walls. And when it fails to do that, say it's thrown a rod, it's thrown out, it's not moving up and down anymore because it's been thrown through the block, and that's a lack of compression. So a lack of compression will also make you not start, but that's kind of the worst one. So hope it's not that. Next is T. T is for timing. If you've lost timing, say your timing belt. These aren't timing belts, these are just regular serpentine belts because I don't have any time belts laying around to show you. But if your timing belt is starting to split like this serpentine belt is, that's definitely going to give you some trouble. And if you have a lack of timing or your timing belt has broken, you're not going to be able to start anyway. So T, timing. Definitely check your timing when your car is cranking and not starting. The last thing you can check for, which is frequently the first thing I check for, is spark. FACTS. The last S is going to be your spark. So you can test your spark plugs. Obviously, if they look like this is a brand new one. It's going to be clean and good and fantastic. That's all well and good. If they look horrible, change them. But spark plugs themselves usually don't cause a no start. They usually cause a misfire code. So if you have a no start, if your plug wires have been cut, if you have a rodent living in your vehicle, that can cause a no start. The spark is not making it to the spark plugs. So you'll want to test for spark and see what we can get from there. So these are just some of the things you need to look for when you have a car that cranks but does not start, and you want to stick to the facts. Fuel, air, compression, timing, and spark. One of those or more than one of those is your problem, and you'll be able to track it down. Erroneous things like coolant leaks or problems like that, you don't need to be focused on. Focus on just what's going to keep your car from starting, and you'll be able to track it down and figure it out. Good luck.